Caroline, thanks so much. As we continue to celebrate 70 years here at KTBS, we want to focus on a very important person from the Arklatex, a live look tonight at the U.S. Capitol, where in just a matter of hours, the U.S. House of Representatives will convene to once again decide whether or not if Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson will hold on to the gavel as the House of Representatives, the number 2 in the line of presidency. Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson playing, again, a very pivotal role in our government. KTBS 3's Jeff Beimfohr got a chance to talk with him recently about his impact and his life and some of the things that he's been able to accomplish in D.C. so far. Jeff.
Well, it has been a pretty remarkable career thus far, Jonathan. In October of 2023, just a couple months ago, it was an event, or about a year or so ago, it was an event unlike any other in Louisiana political history. An event we examine tonight in our ongoing celebration, remembering major milestones that we've covered during 70 years of KTBS television.
Therefore, the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 118th Congress.
And there you have it, the announcement there on the floor of the House. The new House Speaker now in place, Mike Johnson of Louisiana.
It was a Louisiana first. No one from the state had ever been elected Speaker before. On a visit to the KTBS studios, Johnson, now second in line to the presidency, discussed his rise to the speakership.
I got the job in the second shortest period of time of anybody in U.S. history, because I'd served for about 7 years at the time. So it wasn't expected, but I'm really grateful and humbled by the opportunity.
Johnson points out he inherited the smallest House majority in U.S. history, but remains undaunted.
I have a very clear vision about where we need to go to preserve these great foundational principles that made us the greatest nation in the history of the world. And we're on a journey to do that.
One of the Speaker's best friends is Shreveport State Senator Alan Seabaugh. For a short time, they were seatmates in the Louisiana legislature. But as a second-year lawmaker, Johnson was already running for Congress.
And, it was pretty obvious that he was playing politics on a different level than just about everybody else in the Louisiana legislature. Look, Mike's an exceptional person. I don't know that there are limits to what he can achieve or what he can do.
Well, how did this all affect your family?
It's been a pretty dramatic change for all of our lives. And, with regard to the security detail, from the schedule to the just overwhelming amount of responsibilities that the Speaker of the House has in the modern era.
But as Pastor John Larry from Calvary Baptist says, it's nothing Johnson can't handle. And Larry should know. They're brothers-in-law.
Mike is he's such a gifted individual. The Lord has truly gifted him with strong faith and leadership and wisdom and steadfastness. It's almost funny because it's beyond natural. Life has definitely changed, but again, I couldn't think of anyone that could handle it any better.
70 years from now, how do you hope your tenure as Speaker will be remembered?
That's a good question. Look, I think as we look back, and as history records, I think this will have been probably the most chaotic period of our history since at least World War II, and in final analysis, maybe since the Civil War. So I hope that they look back and say, well, he was a speaker who kept steady hands at the wheel to try to help guide the country through that, and that I preserved those founding principles that have made us the greatest nation in the history of the world.
But while helping guide the direction of the country, Johnson keeps a keen eye on his home.
And at the same time, you've got to serve your own constituents in your district.
The Speaker has been able to accomplish big things for his district. For instance, the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2024 yielded $112 million for a weapons generation facility at Barksdale, $944 million for the B-52 program at BAFB, and $9 million combined for a dormitory and child development center. And thanks to redistricting, Johnson's District 4 has grown.
So now I've got 20 parishes, 5 media markets, and about a third of the state by land area. So we got a lot to say grace over, Jeff.
And of course, a lot to lead.
We keep, a clear eyes and steady vision, and we're trying to lead in what are very tumultuous times.
Johnson says when he comes home now, people are very supportive, and for that he's grateful. The Speaker also says KTBS helped his family through its journey when his father was badly burned in an explosion, and thus he has an emotional tie to Channel 3.
As you know, I'm a big fan of KTBS and talk about this operation all around the country. I think it's one of the best programs. Love the locally owned flavor that we have here, and I'm so grateful. I just want to say happy anniversary to everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, one more test of Johnson's abilities comes tomorrow. He'll stand for re-election in the U.S. House to see if he will remain as Speaker. That comes on the heels of an enthusiastic endorsement from President-elect Donald Trump, who said, "Mike has my complete and total endorsement." Tomorrow, we shall see.